Thanks to Lania and the whole team at Feport for putting together yet again another great conference with all the different stakeholders with such a strong interest in all the different issues. And I've been delighted to once again talk about Year of Multimodality 2018 and how that can impact on all the different stakeholders that Feport's put together. I hope the rest of the conference is every bit as interesting as the pieces I've heard so far. Thanks very much again for inviting me.
Well, there's always a role for Feport to play in putting stakeholders together in the room to solve common problems. And I think it's always a good idea for the port community to involve other stakeholders to get what they need.
I really do believe that Feport is following a very good policy line in developing these conferences where stakeholders can look at the problem from every angle. Digitalization is a much bigger challenge than most industries have been used to, and it's particularly difficult in the case of ports because it's a multinational and indeed a global development, and there's no substitute for hearing the difficulties and hearing about the successes, and I think that's exactly what the Feport conferences do.
As Feport is organizing its activities to take the stakeholders' view to the policy discussion, and I think this is the right way to move forward also on that front in order to get the voice heard in the current and upcoming policy dialogue.
I am so extremely appreciative of the invitation that we received from Feport to participate in today's event. It was a learning experience for us and for me personally, and I'm sure the message I'm taking back to Los Angeles is the opportunities that exist to further engage with Feport and its members to see what type of collaboration we can develop for the betterment of logistics.
I am Christoph Titgat. I'm the Secretary General of Sea Europe. Sea Europe is the organization of European shipyards and marine equipment manufacturers. I was here today because I was interested in learning how the other maritime stakeholders are facing the same challenges as our industry, notably unfair competition, massive state aid from countries outside the EU, and how to cope with that. For the same reason, I was also asked by Feport to moderate the panel number 3, which dealt with trade and competition related issues. And basically what I learned is that we have all in Europe, from the maritime perspective, a lot to defend and also a lot that is at stake. And therefore I think it's important, as we did in the panel today, to have the relevant stakeholders together with the policymakers to fight for the same cause, that is, keep Europe great, keep the global maritime leadership position of the maritime stakeholders in Europe where it should be, and that is actually what I have as a takeaway.
Today at the Feport conference was a great opportunity to talk about issues which we all have on our agendas. It's about connectivity, it's about digitalization, it's about infrastructure investments, about competition rules. I think today was a great opportunity to exchange views on all these issues and some urgencies which we have. The urgency to make investment in digital and physical infrastructure, the urgency to talk about fair competition, and here in particular refer to the block exemption rules on consortia. But equally, we need some with digitalization and with consolidation in many industries, with more platforms being put in place. We need, I think, some clear rules on data governance. And I think these issues were on the table today. So congratulations to Feport.
At this conference I talked about digitalization, which I think was a really interesting subject because it reveals a lot of the different issues that actually exist in the maritime logistics chain. One issue is the issue of collaboration, and of course you need collaboration to be able to make benefits, make gains actually of the digital transformation, data sharing. That is one thing. Second thing is there is more and more vertical integration in the maritime logistics chain, and that has potential, but it also risks. And one of the risks, for example, is that whole supply chains could be in the hand of a few players, and that they could be more vulnerable to cyber attacks. So these need to be issues need to be tackled. And the third issue, I think, is about the more and more power in the hands of fewer players, so monopolies, and this is apparent in data. This is also more and more the case in liner shipping, and especially when liner shipping is using data to maintain and to maybe extend that position. So I think it is important to look at these three issues together when you talk about digitalization.
So my biggest takeaway today was meeting new people, understanding the shipper's side and the freight forwarder side of the business. So we understand that there's big black holes when it comes to the operations. We're looking to uncover those black holes, but we realize it's not just for the two stakeholders, the shipping lines and the terminals, but there's many more people that want access to this data. So how can we work together as an industry, as different vendors, to bring that to the end user?
Digitization will help the development of small and mid-sized companies because of the platform effect. Platforms placed in the internet offer efficient and cost-effective, easy-to-use solutions. The Asia Development Bank has identified a $1.6 trillion financing gap. With distributed ledger technology, with platforms, we can reduce the finance operating costs by 50 to 70% for letter of credits, which then become affordable for SME and enables them to take a much bigger place in global trade and will drive economic growth across the world.